Ini adalah amanah. Melindungi pekerja merupakan panggilan yang mulia untuk kami.
Bukan hanya tentang hari ini, tetapi tentang perjuangan menjalankan roda kehidupan.
Karena kami ingin terus memberikan apa yang menjadi mimpi besar anak-anak kami.
Kerja keras untuk keluarga demi masa depan yang bebas cemas.
Terima kasih karena telah melindungi kami sebagai tulang punggung keluarga.
Amanah besar yang diberikan kepada BPJS Ketenagakerjaan mendorong kami terus berinovasi. Apapun resikonya,
Kecelakaan kerja di saat jauh dari keluarga, kehilangan mata pencarian,
Hari tua yang tak berdaya.
Bahkan kehilangan nyawa sekalipun.
kami berdiri di sini untuk membawa arti bagi keluarga. Negara hadir melalui BPJS Ketenagakerjaan untuk mewujudkannya. Perlindungan pekerja sejahtera.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will go to the next agenda for our first speaker. Today, we will have a topic about the topic title is Disaster Nursing and Health Security, with considering the elderly as the biggest part of the population. And the speaker is Professor Sakiko Kanbara from Kochi University, Japan. And the moderator is Miss Stephanie Melia Eskepners, MNS. She is a lecturer at Nursing Faculty of Immanuel Institute of Health. Okay, for Miss Stephanie Melia, please welcome and please all the time is yours. Okay, we will go to the next speaker. And ladies and gentlemen, for the third topic for today, we have a speaker with the topic is Women's Health and Maternity Nursing. And the speaker is Miss Chi Siu Hung, PhD RN, a professor from Asia University. And for this session, we have moderator Miss Lydia Natalia Eskepners, MS. Okay, for Miss Lydia Natalia, the screen is yours.
Check. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ardini, for giving me the time. Yeah, can you hear my voice clearly? Is that clear enough?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good morning. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lydia Natalia, and I am so honored today to become the moderator of this session. And of course, we are honored to have with us today a distinguished speaker from Department of Nursing, Asia University. Please join me in welcoming Professor Chu Shi Hang, PhD RN. Hello, Professor Hang. Okay, I will call Professor Hang one more time. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Hello,
thank
Professor
you.
Hang. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for your introduce.
Okay. Okay, Professor Hang. Yeah, before we start, I would like to provide some brief overview of Professor Hang's impressive background. Yeah, as you know that Professor Hang has been a chair professor or professor in the School of Nursing, Kaohsiung Medical University from February 20 2007 until January 2024. And now she is the chairperson in the Department of Nursing at Asia University. In 1988 until 1990, she pursued a Master of Science at University of Southern California in the USA. And in 1988 until 2002, she obtained her PhD from University of Pennsylvania, USA. And Professor Hang also has attended various kinds of trainings and published numerous journal articles. And one of the very famous articles is about the Hang postpartum stress scale, and she will explain about that in this session. She also have written so many books and given presentation at various levels of conferences. She also an editor and reviewer for various journals in Taiwan, China, Canada, the UK, and the US. And one of the most impressive one, she also got various honors and awards. One of them is the World Top 2% Scientist in 2022. So it means that she has published so many journals and so many scholars has cited her publication. Yeah, wow, our speaker today is really amazing. And the professor expertise in the field of maternal nursing is unquestionably impressive. Now, without further ado, I present to you Professor Chi Shihang. Professor, am I pronounce your name correct? Chi Shihang?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, good. Yeah, she will enlighten us on her journey on maternity nursing and women's health. Yeah, Professor, your allotted time for the presentation is around 30 minutes, and I will give you a signal when there are only 10 minutes remaining. And after your presentation, we will have discussion. And make sure for all participants, if you have any question, don't forget to write down your question first, or you can also raise your question directly after the session. Okay, let's extend a warm welcome to Professor Han. The time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'd like to share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Not yet, Professor.
Okay, good, good. So thank you so much for moderator's introduction. Yes.
It's not
the full,
up,
right?
Yeah, it's not in the screen yet.
Not yet.
Not yes. Could you
How about
please
this? Can you see?
Not yet, Professor.
Not yet. Let me try again.
Maybe we can help you to share with our.
I try again.
Okay.
Can I? Sure. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe I need your help.
Oh, okay.
Could you help me with me?
Oh,
please?
yes. How if we share the screen from the operator? Yeah, maybe operator can share the screen, the PPT. Okay. Yeah. How about this, Professor? Hello, Professor Hang. How about this? We share the screen from our computer.
Can you see? Is my PowerPoint or yours?
This is ours.
Okay, maybe I just use yours. Okay.
Okay, Professor. Yeah.
Try one. Let me try again.
Okay.
Let me use yours.
So we will.
Yours.
Okay, so we will stop share first. Yeah, stop share first, and then we will allow you to share the screen.
Okay, let's start. Okay, and you use your file.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Yeah, you can just say next slide if you want to move to another slide.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for moderator's introduction, and I appreciate to have this opportunity to share with you about my research journey on maternity nursing and women's health. Next. Before my presentation or my speech, I'd like to talk my career development briefly. After I complete the bachelor program, I was a nurse. I was a registered nurse in medical and surgical wards and in ICU. Then I was a teaching assistant in maternity nursing. So since then, maternity nursing and perinatal women's health have been my focus in teaching and research. Next, please. So for today's speech, I will start the story of my nursing research on the development of the home postpartum stress scale. Next. The concept of postpartum stress came to my mind during the year of 1984 to 1987. Next. When I was a teaching assistant working with junior students in their clinical practicum, and every student was required to read an English article during the practicum. And during that period, I found that postpartum depression related to women's health was a high issue in the Western literature. Many researchers have claimed that postpartum depression occurs because of endocrine variation or hormone fluctuations after the event of childbirth. I remember my clinical preceptor in the United States. When she came back from her maternity leave, she was so tired and so thin because she needed to take care of her newborn baby. And in addition, she needed to take care of the other children and do the housework. However, next please. However, in Taiwan, we do have traditional postpartum ritual of 坐月子. After childbirth, the postpartum women was the focus of attention by their mother-in-laws, mothers or husbands to take care of them, rest, nutrition, and physical well-being. Next. So if the family help is not available, we do have a postpartum nursing care center. Next. The postpartum nursing care center has a luxurious setting, but the price is very high. It is about $7,000 per month. Next one. And the women, when they live in the postpartum nursing center, they can receive professional help and they don't need to do any chores. Next. In addition, they have 6 meals per day. So after the maternity leave, or after the ritual of 坐月子, the postpartum women look pretty good. They have enough energy and have very good physical condition. Next. So women in the Asia culture had a lower instance of postpartum depression than the women in Western countries because of traditional postpartum ritual. Next. So accordingly, I want to criticize the concept of postpartum depression based on Stern and Krugman's anthropological study and from my personal perspective. Next. Stan and the Cookman came to Taiwan before and faced the postpartum ward in a hospital, and they found that the postpartum women, even in the summer season, they still wore the long sleeve clothes and long pants, have socks, a hat, and scarf in order to protect themselves and prevent from the infection and illness. So Eastern cultural system differed in many ways from Western one, and these differences influence many aspects of postpartum period. Next, please. Okay, so postpartum depression is the result of relative lack of social structure of postpartum events. I just mentioned in Western society, we do have postpartum ritual. In Taiwan, we have postpartum ritual of 2 years. But in the Western culture, they don't have. They need to take care of their baby by themselves. And the second is the lack of social recognition of the low transition for the new mothers. After childbirth, the women was the focus of attention in the Eastern culture. But in the Western culture, the newborn baby are the focus of attention. And a lack of instrumental assistance to the new mother I just mentioned. We don't need to do anything after childbirth. But in the Western culture, the new mother still need to do everything by themselves. Okay, next, please. So, wait, is this one? Yeah, this one. So, postpartum depression is a culture-specific symptom. It is a combination of psychiatric and somatic symptoms that are considered to be the recognizable disease only within a specific society or culture. Next. So from my personal perspective, I argue about the concept of postpartum depression because depression can occur in any stage of life, right? For example, if the depression occurs in the elderly stage, we say it is geriatric depression. If the depression occurs in the adolescent stage, we say it is adolescent depression. So postpartum depression could be defined as depression that occurs in the postpartum period, rather than that occurs as a result of the experience of childbirth itself. So the concept definition from the, however, the concept definition from the instrument developed was not found. Next. So please pay attention to the instrument used for measure postpartum depression, such as Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale or Beck Depression Inventory, and the Taiwanese Depression Questionnaire. Please pay attention to the items on each of the instruments. Next. So, what are the differences between depression and postpartum depression? And how are they measured by the instrument? Do they have any differences between depression and postpartum depression? Next. So I want to share with you about I want to criticize about the postpartum depression. And the depression we just mentioned, many instruments were used to measure the postpartum depression, right? And the second is, what is the diagnosis of postpartum depression? Even the diagnostic and the statistical manual of mental disorder, the fifth version, did not make any criteria to make the diagnosis about postpartum depression. And when is the time for the occurrence of postpartum depression? Is 1 week of postpartum, 6 week, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? Nobody knows. And I just mentioned the social condition between the Eastern and the Western is so different. So we need to take all of this into consideration before we think about what is postpartum depression and which instrument should be used. Next. So I have been hesitated between the postpartum depression and postpartum stress for my first study. But people can learn what is the postpartum depression, but nobody know what postpartum stress is. Next, please. And luckily, when I studied in the University of Pennsylvania, a concept analysis was required in order to pass the qualified examination. So I conduct the concept analysis of postpartum stress. Next. I mentioned postpartum depression is a culture-specific symptom because it is a combination of psychiatric and somatic symptoms that are considered to be a recognizable disease only within a specific society or culture.
Gak semua lo bisa dapetin aku versi mau cerita semuanya. Gak mau
I just mentioned this one. The conceptual definition of postpartum. I argue about the conceptual definition of postpartum depression because this I just mentioned, right? I compared this already, right? Did I?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
yes.
I repeat only this one.
The last slide, if I'm not mistaken, is in the 19, slide number 19.
So it's the next one?
Yes, next. Okay.
This one. Oh, okay.
Yes, next.
7. Yeah. 9.
Next.
Okay.
Okay.
Next. This one.
Yeah.
20.
Next. 22. Yes, this one.
Okay.
Yes, this one.
So the purpose of the concept analysis is to provide information for the feature test of validity of a postpartum stress scale. And based on STEM and let me see, someone screen just hide the word. So based on Walker and Evans, there are 6 steps of concept analysis. First, identify the use of the concept. Second, determine the defined attributes. Third, constructing a model case. Fourth, constructing borderline related, contrary, and illegitimate case. Fifth, identify antecedents and consequences. Sixth, define empirical references. Okay, it didn't work. Next one. Okay, so step 1, identifying the uses of the concept. Because I will use the postpartum stress as the concept, so I define first, what is postpartum? So postpartum is defined as the period within 6 weeks after childbirth. And stressors were defined as conditions or threat, demands, or structural constraints that by the very fact of their occurrence or existence call into question the operating integrity of the organisms. And stress was defined as a constraining force or influence. Accordingly, postpartum stressors are defined as conditions of change, demand, or structural constraints that by the very fact of the occurrence or existence within 6 weeks after childbirth limit the operating integrity of body changes, maternal attainment, and the social support. And postpartum stress is defined as a constraining force produced by postpartum stressors. Step 2, determine the defined attributes. There are 3 defined attributes, including negative body changes, maternal attainment, and a lack of social support. Lack of body changes is defined as changes in body sensation, body structure, and body function after childbirth. Maternal attainment is defined as acceptance or obligation of the role and competence in baby physical caretaking tasks. Lack of social support is defined as without receiving emotional, informational, instrumental, and appraisal support. Step 3. Constructing a model case. A model case is to provide an example that incorporates all defined attributes of postpartum stress. This is a model case about Mrs. Lee because I don't have enough time to mention about the case in details, including the other cases I will talk later. And this is another model case about Mrs. Zhong. So in these two cases, we can see all the defined attributes of postpartum stress are present, including negative body changes, maternal attainment, and lack of social support. Step 4. Constructing additional cases, including the borderline case, the related case, the country case, and the illegitimate case. These cases will tell us what counts the concept of postpartum stress and what doesn't count the concept of postpartum stress. The borderline case. The borderline case contains some, but not all, of the defined attributes of the concept, and thus provides an example of what the concept is not. This is about the borderline case related to Mrs. Zheng. In the borderline case, Mrs. Zheng does have stress during her postpartum period. However, she does not have the stress from the maternal role attainment. The related case illustrates a concept similar to the postpartum stress, but does not have the critical attributes of the concept. So this is the related case about Mrs. Xu. And in the related case, though it is similar in some respects to the concept of postpartum stress, it does not have the same defined attributes of postpartum stress. The country case gives an even stronger illustration of what the concept is not than does about a borderline case. This is a country case about Mrs. Lin. In the country case, it has none of the critical attributes of postpartum stress. And the illegitimate case is an example of the concept term used improperly or out of the context. This is the illegitimate case about Mrs. Liu. And in the illegitimate case, the time period in which these stressors are experienced does not fall within the 6 weeks postpartum definition. So those cases constructed from the model case to the illegitimate case tell us or give us examples to understand what postpartum stress is. Step 5. Antecedents and consequences. The figure 1 is illustrated about the antecedents and consequences of the postpartum stress. Childbirth-related stressors are the antecedents of postpartum stress, and the stress-related symptoms for health status are the consequences of postpartum stress. Step 6. Empirical references. The empirical references are to provide a means of measuring the defined attributes of postpartum stress. A measurement for the concept of postpartum stress should include the three significant attributes: in terms of negative body changes, maternal attainment, and lack of social support. So the concept analysis, after I completed, it was published in the Journal of Nursing. For details, you could refer to the journal. So what is the purpose for concept analysis? And how do you apply the concept analysis in your study? Actually, these two questions are related to the validity of the measurement. Estimates of validity are dependent upon the nature of the people being measured and the circumstances under which they are being assessed. So, after the concept definition of postpartum stress, further testing and validating of the postpartum stress scale in terms of the operation definition of postpartum stress should be done for nurses. So the title of my doctoral dissertation is on revalidation of the HAM postpartum stress scale. I argue that women before childbirth will encounter general stress or daily life stress, and after childbirth, in addition to general stress or daily life stress, women will encounter another type of stress, that is postpartum stress. However, many researchers use general stress scale or daily life stress scale to measure women's stress during the postpartum period. For a reliable and a valid study, postpartum stress must be measured by the HAM postpartum stress scale rather than the general stress scale or daily life stress scale. So the first version of the HAM postpartum stress scale, I used the proportional stratified quarter sample to recruit 861 women during the 6 weeks following childbirth from 14 hospitals and 6 obstetric clinics, and the ratio of items to the subjects is 1 to 10. And the criteria for inclusion in the sample were women who had a single, healthy, and full-term baby without complications, who had no major postnatal complications or underlying medical problems, who were married Taiwanese residents, and who could speak Mandarin Chinese. So you can see all the participants in this study are low-risk postpartum women. So the result was published in the Journal of Advanced Nursing. The Journal of Advanced Nursing also offered 3 press releases for the study. So subsequently, emails from the world for permission to use the HAM postpartum stress scale or for requests for the article were coming in a large numbers. Then the Journal of Clinical Nursing invited me to write a commentary on Mao and her associate studies on a comparison of postnatal depression and the related factors between Chinese new mothers and fathers. Because Mao and her associates used the perceived stress scale in terms of daily life stress scale to measure women's stress during the postpartum period. One more interesting is Dr. Simon, wrote a commentary on my study on revalidation of the postpartum stress scale and published it in the Journal of Clinical Nursing. Then the Journal of Clinical Nursing invited me to give a response to Simon's commentary. And what we discussed is about the concept of validity and reliability. We did have a very good debate over the issues. So please do read it. For the first version of the Han postpartum stress scale, it includes 61 items. And it is significant for the developing the Han postpartum stress scale because postpartum women experience specific postpartum stressors could be detected by subsequently protected by supportive nursing intervention that provides stressor-specific coping resources. I just mentioned that for the first version of the Han postpartum stress scale, the participants are homogeneous and low-risk women. And based on the concept of validity, when an instrument is used in a new context or with a different group of people, it is necessary to re-establish its psychometric properties. So, in order to apply the instrument for measuring the high-risk postpartum women, so I continue to conduct the second version of the Han postpartum stress scale. And the purpose of this study was to validate that early study by applying the Han postpartum stress scale to measure postpartum stress for high-risk postpartum women. And the study sample, I used the proportional stratified quarter sampling to recruit the participants in Kaohsiung area of southern Taiwan, including 11 registered general hospitals and 7 specialty clinics. And the participants, a total of 878 postpartum women who could speak Mandarin Chinese and read Chinese, and whose newborn baby will arrive are included. Finally, 859 women participated in the study. The ratio of item to subject is 1 to 10. So the result of the study was published in the Journal of Nursing Scholarship. So the second version of the Han postpartum stress scale includes 62 items. For application of the Han postpartum stress scale, nursing intervention can be tailored to address the item on the postpartum stress scale that postpartum women indicate to be the most stressful. So the study is a representative sample regardless of low or high risk postpartum women. And it is a large sample with 1 to 10 item to subject ratio. So future study for the confirmatory factor analysis should be done for nurses. In conclusion, today's speech is on the development of the Han postpartum stress scale in terms of the conceptual definition and the operational definition of postpartum stress. They are related to the measurement, and they are crucial to the validity and reliability of our study instruments. I hope today's speech is helpful for you in your study in the maternity nursing and the women's health. These are the articles related to today's speech. They can to be as your references. And thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor. Yeah, maybe all the participants can give applause by clicking the applause button, the reaction. Wow, it's so impressive experience of your publication, especially about the Han postpartum stress scale. Yeah, maybe some of you have been used the questionnaire many times, and also me and my student have used your questionnaire for our research, and it's really wonderful that we can meet you as the researcher. Yeah. Okay. Now I would like now it's time to this discussion time, and now we are going to engage more with our speaker. So if you have any question, you can just raise your hand, and also you can write down your question. Yeah, I see the question from the chat room. Yeah, from Mrs. Ratih Firta Gayatri from Poltekkes Kemenkes Bandung. Yeah, I think Mrs. Ratih have been meet you maybe a long time ago, because he said that glad to see you again in here, Professor. And her question is, which one that according to your research and experience in postpartum depression, which one that have the strong associated with postpartum depression conceptual about becoming of mother or maternal role attainment? Yeah. You can address the answer, Professor.
Okay, so the question is, which one that have the strong association with postpartum depression, conception about become the mother or maternal attainment? But I need to clarify the question first. So your question is about which instrument can be used to measure postpartum depression, right? But you also mentioned become the maternal attainment, because maternal attainment is another concept. So I like to clarify. Do you ask me about which instrument is better, is reliable and valid to measure postpartum depression? Is
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, maybe her question is like what factor that has strong associated with the postpartum depression, is that becoming a mother or the maternal role attainment? So which one is that has strong associated with the postpartum depression itself?
Because just based on my speech, I criticize what is postpartum depression. We need to define that, because now, based on review from the literature, nobody have good definition about postpartum depression. And based on my criticize, I mentioned maybe we have up two options. One is postpartum depression is because of childbirth. The other one is postpartum depression occurs during the period of postpartum period. So which one you choose?
Help me.
If you choose the first one, postpartum depression occurs after childbirth, during the postpartum period. If this is the conceptual definition, then you can use the depression scale. For example, I just mentioned three instruments, right? The Edinburgh. If you pay attention to the item for the three instruments what I mentioned, you cannot see any differences. These are measured the daily life stress, daily life is that related to daily life stress. It is not specific for the depression after childbirth. Is clear for you or not? Do I need to explain more?
Yeah, okay. Mrs. Ratih, maybe you want to say something, or you want to clarify something, or is that clear enough for you? Yeah, so it can be concluded that
yes, I think enough.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor Hong. Do you remember me? I'm glad to see you again. I lost contact with you, Professor. Sorry.
You
So I
studied
have
in
so
Chengkong
many,
University, right?
I have so many time to send email to you, Professor, but I didn't get the reply from you.
Oh, really?
Really. So I am so
I,
happy to meet you in here. Sorry, Panitia, I'm sorry, facilitator too. Yeah,
so if you mail to me, please introduce
yeah.
yourself first and tell me which university you involved. Maybe you study
I'm
in.
Prati Virta Gayatri Professor. Did you remember I'm advisee Professor Yuyun Su in NCQ? And
Oh,
are my committee member in my dissertation defense. Thank you so much, Professor.
I'm sorry, I missed your email.
Yes, I will clarification about my question, Professor. Pardon me, is related with about the paper from the Ramona T. Mercer. Maybe you have already read also in 2004, Professor. And the title about the becoming of mother versus
Oh,
maternal role attainment, and in this paper, this mention related with the postpartum depression. So that's why I asked about this question, Professor. I'm sorry if this question make you confused, just little bit confused.
but I
Thank
think
you.
this question is very good to
Yeah,
clarify what we thought about postpartum depression.
yeah,
Postpartum depression is a common term to use, but
yes,
nobody to
agree.
make a clear conceptual definition.
Yeah, yes,
Because if
Professor.
we have a clear define what is postpartum depression,
Depression,
then
yeah,
we can use the concept definition to find the good instrument
yeah,
in terms of operational definition. But
yeah, Professor.
now we learn postpartum depression, and somebody use different instrument, and we just follow that. So I like to criticize when I mention about postpartum stress. Many people say, "Oh, it is postpartum depression." I said, "No, let us different concept." So when we mention the concept, we need to clarify what is the concept definition. Concept definition we need to define first.
Yeah,
Based
Professor.
on that, we can to find the next instrument to measure the concept. Yeah.
Yes, Professor, because uh, I, I consider about the so many cases. I mean, so many cases in Indonesia related with the postpartum depression is just like the iceberg phenomena, Professor, phenomena. So that's why I interesting to ask you, which one the becoming of mother uh, or the maternal world attainment can relate with the conceptual about Professor. So that's why I asked about that.
I thought the culture in Indonesia is similar to the culture in Taiwan
So
because
yeah,
we do
Professor,
have
yes,
the postpartum ritual, right, for
right,
the women,
agree,
and
yeah,
but we do have stress after childbirth.
yeah, yes,
So
Professor,
yeah, so postpartum depression may be not good to describe the phenomena of the women. That is
yeah,
based on my personal experience, and nobody to explain what is postpartum depression. Even
yes,
I mentioned about the DSM, the fifth
yeah,
version, did not make any diagnosis about that.
yes, Professor, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your explain, and I'm
Uh,
so happy to meet you here.
yeah,
Thank you, Pak.
it's so nice to see you again. Thank you for your
Yes.
question. It's
May
excellent.
I
We
may,
need
may I
to
ask your
clarify.
yeah, may I ask your email address again, Professor? Because I think your old email address is already not active. Is right?
It's
I
it's 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 it's
active.
same. Yeah,
Oh,
it's okay.
it's
I
still
can use
same.
the same one. The
Oh, okay,
KMU
okay.
is okay.
Yeah,
I will write down your name and then I will pay attention
yeah.
because so many
Miss
email come
Lydia,
from the
Natalia,
international.
Yeah.
may I ask you or
Okay, sure.
manner? Thank you so much.
I will give the email address to you later on after this
Okay.
conference.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you
yeah.
so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Mrs.
much.
Rati, for
Yeah.
your question.
Okay.
Yes, thank you
And
so
we
much,
also have another
Professor.
question from our rector, Ibu Dr. Wintari Hariningsi. Yeah, you can address your question right now.
Okay, good day, Professor Jin Hyo Sung. Jin Hyo Sung, okay? You very good is presentation. I ask for you question. How about the government policy for the pregnant woman health protection? Is there any particular law, and how do the implementation is in Taiwan? And number second, is there any under 5 children choose experiment stunting? And is there any husband role in the maternal health program in Taiwan? Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much.
So,
yeah, you can just answer the question directly.
So the first one is about the government role, right? What is the policy to help the postpartum women? And the second is about the husband's role for the postpartum women, right? Okay, I answered the first one first. The second one first about the fathers, because now we have the parents leave. It's a policy for in Taiwan. So after childbirth, the husband can take leave for how long? I cannot remember how long. Is it for 2 weeks or 1 month? We do have that. And for the maternity period from the government, because we have the Health for All policy in Taiwan, so the women before childbirth, they have 10 times for prenatal checkup. And after childbirth, for example, in our city, Kaohsiung area, the government encourage the childbirth. So they offer, if you have one child, they give you how many? It's $10,000. Otherwise, you can invite the it's called home care or homekeepers to come to the women's house to help the women to take care of the baby and to cook the food for the baby. That is what did in our country. But in the other city have different policies. So do I answer your questions or?
Yeah, okay. Ibu Dr. Wintari, is that clear enough? Professor said that there are many kinds of policies between the cities. Yeah, the like for the parental leave, so it's not only for the woman, right? It's also for the husband. They can also get the parental leave during the postpartum period. And also from the National Health Insurance, it's covered like 10 times prenatal checkup. And if you have child, you will get $10,000. Wow, it's it's a very good it's some kind of present or gift from the government for who's have delivered the baby. Okay.
Yeah, we encourage the women give birth because children is too less now.
Yeah. Okay.
In Indonesian, okay. Miss, thank you. In Indonesian have suami siaga is program.
Oh.
Yes. Husband are education about the informant or their role maternal.
Yeah, suami siaga is the role for the husband to be accompanied the mother during, before, during, and after birth.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah,
very common.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
Yeah,
about your country?
we have. I think the birth rate in Indonesia is quite raised if we compare with the Taiwan. So if our government give money for those who have give birth, we will get bankrupt. Yeah. Okay, Professor, thank you so much. Yeah, we have 5 minutes left. If you have any one more question, you can write down. Okay, this is our final question, Professor, from Firdawati. Yeah, she is our student. What is the role of health services in overcoming the problem of postpartum depression in mothers who live in remote and hard to reach areas? And how to provide equitable and accessible health services in remote area? What action are being taken to address this problem? Yeah.
Here's service. Problem of postpartum depression in mother. Yeah. Now, because it is very common for women to live in the postpartum nursing care center, because now the mother or mother-in-law are very busy for their own business. So it's common to live in the postpartum nursing care center. And based on the accreditation, we ask the postpartum nursing care center need to screen to check does women have the phenomena of postpartum depression. So it's very common for the postpartum nursing center. But I cannot say in the remote area because that's based on the women. We have 3 days for the vaginal delivery and 5 days for cesarean section in the hospital. So after discharge from hospital, if they live in the area, nobody to take care, then the women or the family need to take the responsibility. If they live in the postpartum nursing care center, we do have the require as the center need to screen the women's mental health status every day. Yeah. So the second question is how to provide health service. Yeah, the remote area. Because, for example, because I live in Kaohsiung City and I'm involved in the government for the postpartum issues. I just mentioned, if you have one child, give you $10,000, and if you don't use the money, you can invite the housekeeper to take care of the baby and the women. So that's it. But nobody to pay attention about the postpartum depression. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah. Okay, Professor. Yeah, for Firdawati, I think it's clear enough. Yeah, because in Taiwan they have postpartum nursing care center. So if someone who has postpartum depression, they can just directly come to the postpartum nursing care center. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Professor. I think because of the time, yeah, we cannot continue with the discussion session. So thank you so much, Professor, for your insightful experience and also explanation. And hopefully we can have some kind of collaboration in the next future. Thank you so much, Professor. So now we would like to give you some applause for all the participants. You can give some reaction, maybe applause or heart. Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor, and see you next time. Yeah, I give it back to the MC.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you for Miss Lydia Natalia as a moderator, and also thank you Professor Hang for the material for today. And at this time, for appreciation, we will give you the certificate for Professor Hang and also for moderator, Miss Lydia Natalia. And this certificate will given by the Vice Rector, Miss Stephanie Melia. Please, Miss Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Masih off.
Thank you. Okay.
And for the last time before you leave this room, we will take a documentation. We will take a photo together. For the participant, please open your video and we will take a photo with. Pak, hati-hati yo.
Bagi para pekerja keras yang berlomba dengan matahari pagi.
Ya, badai dengan kategori 4 ini datang dengan angin.
Bojoku ngapa?
Ada jaminan kecelakaan kerja. Buat yang banting tulang demi cita-cita yang tersayang. Ada jaminan hari tua.
Boleh jadi pilot nggak? Boleh, Dok. Pokoknya Ibu dukung.
Hati-hati, Pak. Untuk yang memutar roda mengejar rezeki, nggak khawatir jalani hari. Ada jaminan kematian dan beasiswa 2 anak. BPJS Ketenagakerjaan agar mereka bisa kerja keras bebas cemas. Pasti aman, pasti cair, pasti tenang. Perlindungan pekerja sejahtera. BPJS Ketenagakerjaan.
Aku mahasiswa IKI dapat beasiswa BNI. Mau seperti aku, kuliah di IKI. Kalau kamu, bagaimana? Aku mahasiswa IKI dapat beasiswa KKP. Mau seperti aku, kuliah di IKI. Selain beasiswa BNI dan KKP, ada juga beasiswa lainnya loh. Untuk lebih jelasnya, mari bergabung di IKI. Kami tunggu ya.
Wave Beats Music.
Baik.
Kamu tahu nggak?
Apa tuh?
Di IKI ada banyak UKM tahu? Oh iya, mau tahu? Mau dong, ikutin lah. Oke. Nah, ini UKM-UKM-nya.